I'll move a little bit. We have a smaller crowd tonight, so it's nicer to see everybody. Is anybody here for the first time, their first visit? Yes? Anybody else? Just one new person tonight. Okay, well, welcome. We're actually in the last couple of days of a special lunar month called Kartik, alternatively known as the Damodar month. So we're going to read a little passage from the Bhagavad Gita and try to speak something about this special month. So first let me offer a couple of invocation prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirviseshana Shunyavadi Pastaja Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So today I'd like to read a couple of verses from Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and purports by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. And I noticed the bookmark was right where I wanted to read. So I don't know if that means somebody just did this verse or what. This is chapter 12, entitled Devotional Service, and text number 6 and 7. So if this is a repeat for any of you, that's okay. Repetition of a good thing is good. So this Sanskrit reads as follows. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat Bhavamina Chiraparta Maya Veshita Jaitasam. Translation. Krishna speaking to Arjuna. He says, but those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha. For them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So it's a 2-page purport. We'll try to just go through it. Please try to hear nicely. It is explicitly stated here that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord, and if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. So it's explained that every person, everything has its constitutional dharma. For example, the constitutional dharma, if you will, of water is to be wet. That quality which is inseparable from the item. So if wetness is the dharma of water, what would we say the dharma of sugar is? To be sweet, or the dharma of fire, to be hot. So then the question is, what is the dharma of the living entity? So it's explained, the dharma of the living entity, that inherent quality which cannot be taken away, which cannot be denied, which cannot be covered up completely, is the propensity to render loving service. Mother is always serving the child, right? Of course, father's also serving. Everybody's serving somebody. And if you don't have somebody to serve, then you're serving a dog. And now they're making robotic dogs. Yeah. You don't have to clean up the stool and pay vet bills and, buy dog food. And robotic dogs are always serving somebody. So here it's being stated that through the practice of devotional service, one comes to realize, not just intellectually understand, but they actually come to realize that God or Krishna is great, and I, the individual soul, I'm subordinate to him. And my real happiness comes when I serve him. And what happens if I don't serve Krishna? Then I have to serve. If you turn off the lights, darkness, right? So where there is light, there is no darkness. But as soon as you turn off the light, immediately there's darkness. There's no third thing in between. So we are either serving Krishna or we're serving Maya. And Maya has an unlimited variety of ways in which we can serve her. Maya means the illusory energy. So many people say, I don't want to serve Krishna. All right, then you have to serve Maya. But what is the result? So this is devotional service, that when we serve Krishna, then true happiness comes to the self. Yayatma suprasidati. When that service is unmotivated and uninterrupted, unconditional love. It brings true happiness to the self. And Krishna mentions here that he immediately, swiftly delivers that soul from the cycle of birth and death. But if one serves Maya instead, then what happens? Then one has to take birth again in the material world and keep on serving that master who's always slapping us in the face. You serve the master and the master slaps you in the face. That's Maya. So I'm probably not going to actually read this whole purport because it's kind of long. We'll just kind of try to get to some basic points. Prabhupada's mentioning in the purport that it doesn't matter what kind of service one does for Krishna. One can just serve in the way that he's naturally inclined to serve, but do it for Krishna. And he says, the process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. Why? Because this chanting, just like if I call your name,